I'd always heard the saying, size doesn't matter, it's how you use it, and I wanted to believe it. I told myself it was shallow to care, that love was about connection, trust, the quiet moments that stitched two people together. When I met Ryan, I thought I'd found all of that. He was funny, kind, the kind of guy who'd bring me coffee in bed just to see me smile. We met at a mutual friend's game night, bonding over a shared hatred of Monopoly, and 6 months later, we were living together in a cramped apartment with mismatched furniture and a leaky faucet. I loved him, I did, but there was one thing I couldn't shake, one question that gnawed at me in the dark. Does size matter? For me, it did. Until it didn't. It started small, no pun intended. Our first night together was sweet, awkward in that new relationship way, but I noticed. I couldn't help it. Ryan wasn't well endowed. I brushed it off, told myself it was fine, that I wasn't some superficial teenager obsessed with metrics. I'd had enough bad dates to know a good heart trumped everything else. And Ryan had that, a good heart. He'd leave me notes on the fridge, plan picnics in the park, hold me when work left me frayed. But in the bedroom, something was missing. I faked enthusiasm at first, not wanting to hurt him, but over time the gap widened. Not just physically, but emotionally. I didn't say anything for the first year. How do you bring that up? Hey babe, I love you, but I'm not satisfied. It felt cruel, impossible. I'd lie awake after he fell asleep, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was the problem. Maybe I was too picky, too caught up in some fantasy that didn't exist. I googled it once, does size matter in a relationship, and skimmed forums where women swore it didn't, where they gushed about love conquering all. I wanted to be one of them, the evolved ones who didn't care. But I wasn't. I cared, and it ate at me. Ryan didn't seem to notice. He was oblivious, or maybe he just didn't want to see it. Our routines settled: work, dinner, Netflix, bed. He'd reach for me sometimes, and I'd go through the motions, smiling when he kissed my forehead after, like everything was perfect. But it wasn't. I started pulling away, not on purpose, just instinct. I'd stay late at the office, pick up extra shifts, anything to avoid the quiet disappointment of our nights. He'd ask if I was okay, and I'd nod, say I was tired. It wasn't a lie, not really. I was exhausted, just not from work. My best friend Tara saw through it. We met for drinks one Friday, her sharp eyes pinning me over a glass of Pinot. "Spill it, Jess," she said, cutting through my small talk. "You've been weird for months." I hesitated, twirling the stem of my glass. "It's Ryan," I said finally, my voice low. "I'm not happy." "With what?" she asked, leaning in. "He's great. What's he doing?" "It's not what he's doing," I said, cheeks burning. "It's what he's not doing, or can't do." She raised an eyebrow, waiting. I sighed, the words tumbling out. "He's small, okay? Like, really small. And it's messing with me." Tara didn't laugh, didn't judge. She just nodded, sipping her wine. "Okay, so it matters to you. Have you told him?" "No," I said, horrified. "How do I even say that? He'd be crushed." "Maybe," she said, shrugging. "But if it's this big a deal..." Sorry, bad choice of words. "You've got to figure it out. Either talk to him or let it go." I didn't want to talk to him. I couldn't imagine the look on his face, the hurt I'd carve into him. So I tried letting it go. I bought books on intimacy, watched videos about communication, even suggested we spice things up. Candles, music, anything to bridge the gap. Ryan went along with it, eager, sweet, but it didn't change the math. I was still left wanting, and the resentment grew, a quiet weed choking out the love I'd once felt. A year and a half in, I hit a breaking point. It was a Saturday, raining outside, the kind of day that begged for cozy blankets and lazy hours. Ryan was gaming with his buddy Nate in the living room, their laughter bouncing off the walls. I was in the kitchen, stirring soup, half listening to their banter. Nate was Ryan's oldest friend, tall, broad, with a grin that could charm a room. He'd always been around, crashing on our couch after late nights, a fixture I'd grown used to. That day, though, something shifted. Ryan stepped out to grab beer, leaving Nate sprawled on the couch, scrolling his phone. I brought him a bowl of soup, hospitality, nothing more, and he looked up, catching my eye. "You're too good to him, Jess," he said, teasing, but there was a warmth in it that made my stomach flip. I laughed it off, brushing past, but the moment stuck. Nate was different from Ryan, confident, easy in his skin, the kind of guy who didn't second-guess himself. I'd never thought about him that way, not seriously. But as the weeks went on, I couldn't shake it. He'd drop by more often, linger after Ryan crashed, and we'd talk. About nothing, about everything. It was innocent, or so I told myself. Until it wasn't. It happened after a fight. Ryan and I had argued, something dumb, dishes in the sink, but it spiraled. I'd snapped, tired of pretending, and he'd stormed off to bed, leaving me fuming on the couch. Nate texted, checking in. He'd heard from Ryan, wanted to make sure I was okay. I don't know why I invited him over. I don't know why he came, but he did, and we sat there, the TV flickering, the air thick with unspoken things. One drink turned to 2, then 3, and then we were kissing. Messy, reckless, a line I'd never meant to cross. It wasn't planned, wasn't thought out, it just happened. And when it did, I found out Nate wasn't small. Not at all. The contrast hit me like a freight train, and for one night I let myself feel everything I'd been missing. No guilt, no second thoughts, just raw, unfiltered want. The next morning I woke up to regret. Nate was gone, the apartment silent, Ryan still asleep down the hall. I sat there, coffee cold in my hands, replaying it all. I'd cheated. I'd betrayed the man I'd loved, the one who'd done nothing wrong except be himself. But the worst part? I didn't feel ashamed about Nate. I felt ashamed that it took him to show me what I'd been denying. Size did matter to me, and pretending otherwise had turned me into someone I didn't recognize. I told Ryan that day, not about Nate, not yet, but about us. "I'm not happy," I said, standing in the kitchen, my voice shaking. "I haven't been for a long time." He looked gutted, confused. "What's wrong? Is it me?" "It's us," I lied, dodging the truth. "I don't think we fit anymore." He argued, pleaded, promised to fix it, whatever it was, but I was done. I moved out a week later, crashing with Tara, avoiding his calls. Nate texted once, an apology, and I didn't reply. I didn't need to. He'd been a catalyst, not a solution. But then Ryan found out. A month later, he showed up at Tara's, eyes red, voice raw. "Nate told me," he said, and I froze, the air sucked out of the room. Was that why? Because he's better? "No," I said too fast, then stopped. "Yes, partly. But it's not just that. I wasn't happy, Ryan. I couldn't keep pretending." "You didn't have to cheat," he said, and the hurt in his voice cut deeper than I'd expected. "You could have told me." "I tried," I said, tears spilling over. "I didn't know how. I didn't want to hurt you." "You did anyway," he said, and walked out. I spent months untangling it all. Tara called me out. "You're not a saint, Jess, but you're not a monster either." And she was right. I'd messed up, badly, but I'd been drowning in a lie long before Nate. Size mattered to me. It wasn't everything, but it was something, and denying it had twisted me into someone who'd hurt the one person I'd promised not to. I saw Ryan once, a year later, at a coffee shop. He looked good, lighter somehow, and nodded when he saw me. No warmth, no hate, just acknowledgement. I heard he was dating again, someone new, someone who fit him better. Nate faded out of our circle, a ghost I didn't chase. And me? I'm still figuring it out, alone for now, learning what I want, what I won't settle for. Does size matter? Yes, it did, to me. Until it didn't. Sleeping with Nate didn't fix me. It broke me open. Showed me I'd been chasing the wrong question. It wasn't about him or Ryan or any measurement. It was about honesty. With them, with myself. I lost them both to find that. And I'm still picking up the pieces.